Welcome to Iowa. It's always the first state to cast ballots in the presidential nominations. But they do things a little differently than most other states, as befits the home of the world-famous butter cow. For one thing, there are no voting booths. Instead, Iowans hold caucuses across the state's 1,681 precincts, gathering in places like school classrooms or libraries to endorse candidates. Then they take the first steps to eventually determine the proportion of delegates each candidate will have at the party convention in the summer. The Democratic caucuses are based on discussion. After introductions and a tally of attendees, caucus goers split off and the committed ones try to entice their uncommitted friends and neighbors to quite literally stand with their preferred candidates. Sometimes there are cookies. Those preference groups who gather 15% of caucus goers get to stay. Those who don't have 30 minutes to disband, convince others to join them, declare themselves uncommitted, or take their toys and go home. If there are still holdouts, those folks get one last chance to commit to a candidate with at least 15% of the vote, or go home. Then the head of the caucus tallies the numbers, assigns the precinct's available delegate slots proportionately, and calls in the delegate count to headquarters. Iowa Republicans, on the other hand, use a secret paper ballot. Caucus goers simply write down or mark the name of the candidate who they support, their votes are counted and reported back to the state party, and they go home, likely chuckling at their Democratic neighbors who are still playing musical chairs. The decisions made at each gathering are just the first part of a long process that will eventually determine the state party's delegates to the national conventions. That's where the presidential nominee is formally selected. The whole affair is small and intimate, and it allows Iowa to play an outsized role in deciding who will be deemed a credible contender moving forward. It also allows the Hawkeye State to exercise their influence in a political process that will later be dominated by populous and more urban states like California, Florida, and New York.
Over the past year, he's insulted women, Mexicans, disabled people, Jews, the Chinese, Muslims, immigrants, and our intelligence. Not only has this done him no harm, it's actually served him very well.